Okay, wir haben heute sehr große Nachrichten. It appears that Brian Stelter from reliable sources is out at CNN. He is gone. Not only is Brian Stelter gone, but the show Reliable Sources, which I don't know if it's actually been going on for 30 years. I think that's what I read, but I'm not sure if that's how long it was going on for. It's done. It's finished. It's over. And it's really big news. Not that he's going out. Him being out is big news too, no doubt. However, what's really a big deal is what's going on at CNN in a macro sense. So, in a macro sense, CNN is completely diverging from what it has become, and it's now trying to change its image as it has a new, I believe its CEO, his name is Chris Lake, but I don't know if that's his official position or not. But this is some pretty crazy stuff. I've actually reported on CNN's change already, and so, we're talking about a little bit more here. So, it says here, CNN cancels reliable sources, host Stelter leaving network. So CNN has canceled its weekly Reliable Sources show on the media after 3 decades on the air, so it is 30 years, and said Thursday that its host Brian Stelter is leaving the network. So if you don't know what Reliable Sources was, it was basically what a lot of people said my channel was basically for a long time. It's basically covering other media shows. So he would review what the media was doing. I don't think he's been the host for 30 years, I think. Let me know if he has or hasn't. But whoever the host was on the show would basically be reviewing the sources of media, Fox News, and just the way that the media was running, which I think is a very important thing to do. You have to make sure that what the media is doing is right, and you need to make sure that the media is under scrutiny themselves, because they're the ones that control everything and control the narrative and what's going on. Because people aren't experiencing things. People don't see when an event happens. They're relying on the news media to tell them what happened. So whatever the news media tells them is their perception of what actually happened. So really the news media controls everyone's minds. Because you don't get to actually witness anything that's going on in Afghanistan. Your knowledge of what happened in Afghanistan comes from the news media. So what your perception of what happened was comes from the media. Anyways, it says the show will have its last broadcast this Sunday. I guess that's this coming Sunday in, 3-4 days. It says reliable sources and its host appear to be the first prominent casualties in CNN's effort to become less confrontational politically, a priority of Chris Licht, who became the network's chairman and CEO in the spring, and his boss, David Zaslav, head of the Warner Bros. Discovery parent company. So I'm wondering if, I guess they merged. Did they merge with Warner Bros. Or were they always with Warner? Or no, Warner Bros. Merged with Discovery. Shout out corporate consolidation. Big ups to you. Fuck you. Anyways, so what it's saying here is maybe it was a parent company decision too. I don't know. But it says Stelter has written a book, Hoax, Donald Trump, Fox News, The Dangerous Distortion of Truth, been critical of Fox News, making him a frequent target of CNN's conservative critics. Licht has made it known internally that he's not interested in conflict between CNN and Fox News on the network. The CNN New Day anchor Brianna Keilar has also attracted attention for detailed critical pieces on Fox, but they have stopped since Licht took over. CNN has seen its reputation tumble dramatically among Republican and conservative viewers, some of it because of former President Donald Trump's relentless attacks, but also because of pointed political viewpoints expressed by its personalities. New management has been seeking to turn down the temperature. Stelter came to CNN from the New York Times, where he was a media writer. And then it just says a bunch of, stuff here about, good stuff for him from liberals and CNN. And then people, conservatives and some progressives too, because progressives obviously don't like him either, right? Like, I don't like Brian Stelter either. He's just another, corporate hack, liberal hack. But conservatives are really, really getting excited. They're calling him potato head and all that stuff. So conservatives are super duper hype. They're super duper hype about this going down. But what this goes to show you really at the end of the day is CNN in a macro sense is trying to make a change towards, I guess, less political coverage. So I guess they're trying to go more towards not being like super anti-Fox News and anti-right wing, because falsely, people have really claimed CNN as this super left-wing network or something. They're not. They're just corporate hacks. They're liberal hacks. They're not actually left-wing. They're going to support all the wars. They were supporting Afghanistan war when Biden was pulling out. They're going to support, tax breaks for the rich, etc., etc. They're going to do whatever their advertisers want them to do, Raytheon and, the big insurance companies. So they're not actually a left-wing news network. But I guess Chris Licht is going to try to get them to a, neutral network, I guess, which I'm not really sure if this is going to end up working, to be honest with you. Brian Stelter obviously is probably going to try to move. I saw that Chris Cuomo is now on some random place called News Nation. I don't think these guys have actual audiences that they build, like the way the progressives actually have audiences that they build, where they actually build their own audiences from themselves because they had to. These guys are working off of the backs of CNN. And so, like your parents will go and watch maybe Brian Stelter or Chris Cuomo on CNN. But if they move to somewhere else, they're not going to follow them there because they didn't really fuck with them heavy enough to do that. They were just watching them because they were on CNN at 6 p.m. when they came home from work. So he's going to try to do that. It's going to flop. It's going to fail. It's going to flail in the wind. But it'll be very interesting to see how actually CNN ends up turning out in terms of its development and where it ends up going with this. I'm very, very interested to see. I don't think it's really going to work for them, to be honest. I don't think they're going to be able to pull more people into watching them because of their coverage. And they might, I don't know if they're going to try to. Here's also my question. There's two ways to turn into being effectively neutral. One way to being effectively neutral could be having an equal amount of right-wing and left-wing influence on your show. So in order to have a balancing act for all the anti-Trump stuff, you put on pro-Trump people. You could effectively then neutralize yourself in the net. Or you could just have everybody be completely politically neutral and ergo, ipso facto be neutral, right? I don't know which one they're going for. It seems like they're going for the latter, though. But, man, it's very, very fascinating to see where CNN is going. Let me know what y'all think down below. Pretty interesting to see Brian Stelter out. Brian Stelter is out at CNN. He gone.